Yes, polarity of the organic molecules and the polarity of the functional groups. If I take an organic molecule, its solubility depends on its polarity. Compounds which are more soluble, those of all are said to be more polar, whereas compounds which are less soluble are said to be non-polar, otherwise the less polar. The total polarity associated with the molecule is decided by the structural features. Structural features stands for what? The connectivities. Those of all are once again result of what? The functional groups as well as the remaining homologous series present in the organic molecules. Suppose if I take an alcoholic system, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 butanol system. Butanol, a primary alcoholic system. Whereas the total polarity of a substance, in this case here it is alcohol, that depends on the total net polarity associated with the molecule, which is decided by connectivities, functional groups and the homologous series. In this alkyl chain is non-polar. It doesn't have any kind of polarity differences between carbon and the carbon and the hydrogen. Hence it doesn't offers any polarity. Generally we can say it as non-polar part. Whereas the OH, electronegativity differences between hydrogen and the oxygen, carbon and the oxygen are major. As a result, it is associated with partial positive and the negative charges, and it is having small dispersion of charges are present over the atoms. Hence, it can attract the other opposite charge containing species. It is highly soluble. Such kind of ends are said to be what? Polar ends. Polar ends are due to what? Functional groups. Thus, net polarity associated with the molecule is result of the total polar and the non-polar combinations offers some net quantity of polarity. Due to of its net quantity of polarity, its solubility in other solvents are generally present. Now we will go for the normal list related to the otherwise polarity order related to the different varieties of functional groups, thereby solubilities of the corresponding functional groups in different varieties of general solvents used in the organic chemistry in laboratory. In case of general organic solvents, yes, if you go for the organic compounds are generally less polar, otherwise the non-polar systems compared to the remaining systems. Whereas organic solvents will maintain a broad range of polarity. Whereas if I orderly arrange some of the known organic solvents like alcohols are having more polar, in that methanol and ethanol, especially methanol is more polar compared to the ethanol, and acetone, carbonyl, lower carbonyl system is having moderate polarity. Whereas the petroleum ethers as well as the hexane like substances which are not having any functional groups are having very less polarity, and we can say these are polar non-polar systems also. Yes, the solubility of organic compounds in different solvents as far the functional groups are concerned. Suppose if I take different solvents like water, sodium bicarbonate, sodium hydroxide, HCl and diethyl ether. In these are regularly used laboratory solvents, which particular functional groups containing organic compounds are dissolved. Suppose in case of water, alcohols, amines, that is OH functional group, NH2 functional group, acids, COOH functional groups, and esters, COORs, ketones and the aldehydes of lower hydrocarbons. Up to maximum 4 carbons containing systems are generally dissolved. Whereas if I use 5% of sodium bicarbonate, which is a mild base, in that case strong acids like carboxylic acids are generally dissolved in that. And in 5% of sodium hydroxide, which is a strong base, in that weak acids like phenols along with the carboxylic acids are getting dissolved. In 5% of HCl solution, that is acidic in nature, thus basic nature containing components like amines are getting dissolved in that. And in diethyl ether, almost all varieties of organic compounds are generally dissolved to at least minimum extent to maximum extent. Let us go for the detailed view related to the solubility. Yes, for a clear explanation related to the solubility of functional groups in various solvents, here a table was made. Yes, organic compounds which are soluble in ether followed by the water. to be soluble in water, it has to form the hydrogen bond, and the hydrogen bond efficiency should be maximum, and that is possible in case of lower homologous series of certain functional groups containing organic molecules like alcohols, lower alcohols, all are lowers, aldehydes, ketones, acids, esters, phenols, anhydrides, amines, nitriles, and the polyhydroxyphenol compounds of lower hydrocarbons are soluble in water as well as ether also. So these are having polar ends as well as the non-polar part. Most of the compounds are soluble in ether, as being they are having ability to form effective hydrogen bonding. These functional groups are with minimum number of carbon atoms are soluble both in water as well as the ether functional group, ether containing ether solvents. Yes, the second variety of the combination of solvents, that is soluble in just water but not in the ether. There are certain specific variety of functional groups or the collection of functional groups in organic molecules. Those are more polar. Those are just soluble in case of water only, but they are not soluble in ether. Those are polybasic acids and the hydroxy acids, polyhydric alcohols, and more than one hydroxy groups containing alcohols, and more than one acids containing systems. Hydroxy acid stands for OH as well as the acid functional groups containing systems. Polyhydric carbonyls stands for more than one hydroxy groups associated aldehydes as well as the ketones, and the higher amino acids and the amino alcohols and sulfuric acid. These are all functional groups containing systems are just soluble in water, but they are not soluble in case of ether. Whereas if they are lower, if they are not having multi systems like this of lower hydrocarbons, lower carbons containing systems can also be soluble in case of ether also. That makes the difference. The next one is the organic molecules. Those are soluble in the 5% of sodium hydroxide, which is basic condition. In that acid functional groups and the weak acids like phenols and even imides followed by oximes, C double bond N OH containing systems, thiols instead of OH, SH systems, thiophenols, sulfuric acid, and beta ketoesters which are having active hydrogens. Those all are replaced and converted as salts, hence they are soluble in 5% of sodium hydroxide. Once again, the list is acids, phenols, imides, oximes, thiols, thiophenols, sulfuric acids, and beta ketoesters. These are all soluble in 5% of sodium hydroxide solution. Next is organic compounds having functional groups having ability to soluble in 5% of HCl solution. In 5% of HCl, the basic groups are generally soluble. Those of all varieties of primary amines, aliphatic and the aromatic. Secondary amines like dialiphatic, otherwise aryl alkyl amines, but not the diaryl amines, and the hydrazine NH2 NH2. Such kind of functional groups containing systems are generally soluble in 5% of HCl solution. Organic compounds of functional groups without having any kind of nitrogen and the sulfur, and having ability to get soluble in concentrated sulfuric acid or unsaturated hydrocarbons, alcohols, aldehydes, keto compounds, esters, anhydrides, ethers, acetals, lactones, and acyl halides. These of all are generally soluble in concentrated sulfuric acid. Yes, special case of organic functional groups containing molecules without having any kind of nitrogen and the sulfur, but are insoluble in concentrated sulfuric acid are saturated hydrocarbons, cyclic hydrocarbons, aromatic hydrocarbons, halogen derivatives of hydrocarbons, and the diaryl ethers. Friends, let us go for the separation techniques related to the mixtures of organic compounds. Here I am having examples like toluene and aniline mixture is there. Similarly, phenol and the toluene mixture is there, and the dibutyl ether followed by the chlorobenzene mixture is there. Like this, these are all are the different mixtures. From from these mixtures how to identify, how to separate the components present in the mixtures. Case number 1, let us go for the first case, that is toluene as well as the aniline mixture is there. Let us go for the first one. I am having a mixture of aniline and the toluene, whereas toluene is organic in nature, non-polar in nature, whereas aniline is having NH2 functional group which is basic in nature. So therefore, to separate these two mixtures, aqueous HCl solution has to be taken. Yes, on reaction of this mixture with the aqueous HCl solution, aniline combines with the aqueous HCl and forms corresponding salt which is soluble in water. Whereas that particular aqueous HCl, on treating with the organic solvent, our toluene will enter into the organic layer, whereas this aniline dissolves in the form of salt in water. Thus aqueous layer and organic layer are separated. Thereby, by treating that aqueous layer with the base, this aqueous HCl which is formed salt with the aniline, anilinium chlorides, whatever are formed, those are all once again converted to the simple aniline. Thus the extraction is possible in the first case, that is toluene and aniline mixture, by making that one react with the aqueous HCl solution followed by the corresponding sequence. Thus in this case, on reaction with aqueous HCl, aniline is converted to anilinium chloride which is salt, goes into the water. Water layer and organic layer are separated. Thus toluene and anilinium chloride is separated. On reaction of aqueous layer, that is consisting of anilinium chloride with the base, that is converted to aniline, and thus here from aniline conversion of organic layer, aniline is generally extracted. The second mixture, that is phenol and the toluene, these two are separated by making this one reaction with the sodium hydroxide solution. Aqueous sodium hydroxide combines with the phenol, sodium phenoxide formation takes place, that enters into the water layer, aqueous layer, and further on reaction with the acidic conditions, phenol is regenerated. Thus the organic layer and the aqueous layer separation followed by retaining of the organic compounds is possible. Case number 3, ditertiary butyl ether as well as the chlorobenzene is there. This ditertiary butyl ether is soluble in concentrated sulfuric acid, whereas chlorobenzene is insoluble. By separating the layers, once again on reaction with the water, it is converted to dilute sulfuric acid. Thus on reaction with the other organic solvents, this ditertiary butyl ether is retrieved from the dilute sulfuric acid. Suppose if you go for the things, yes, ditertiary butyl ether on reaction with concentrated sulfuric acid becomes soluble in concentrated sulfuric acid, whereas organic layer is separated. Thus chlorobenzene is separated from the system. On dilution of the sulfuric acid, organic layer separates once again, that is ditertiary butyl ether is regenerated. The next mixture, that is ardocresol followed by benzoic acid. This particular mixture on reaction with the aqueous sodium bicarbonate, acid combines with the sodium and it is converted to corresponding aqueous state. Organic layer is separated, and that acid, salt of acid on treating with the HCl, once again converts to corresponding benzoic acid system. Thus by reaction with sodium bicarbonate, whatever acid is there, that acid is converted to sodium salt of acid because it is strong, relatively strong. Now it is salt, so it enters into the aqueous layer and it is separated. By treating with HCl, acidic conditions, pH less than 7, once again the benzoic acid is obtained. The next case, carbonyl compounds and the liquid hydrocarbons are there. To separate the mixtures, here we are taking the help of sodium bisulfate. The sodium bisulfate on reaction with the carbonyl compound, that combines with the carbonyl compound and it is converts those carbonyl compounds to corresponding salts. Salts are inorganic in nature, goes into the aqueous layer. Thus organic and inorganic compounds are separated. At the last, by treating them with respect to the HCl, once again carbonyl compounds are regenerated. Thus, in the case of carbonyl system when allowed to react with the sodium bisulfite combines with the carbonyl system and the bisulfite salt formation takes place. This enters into the aqueous layer. Thus, further on reaction with the HCl, acidification, once again carbonyl system and the sodium bisulfite are going to be regenerated. The next case, that is sixth one, that is diethyl ether and the acetic acid. Acetic acid on reaction with sodium hydroxide converts to sodium salt of acetate. The salt is soluble in water and enters into the aqueous layer. Thus, organic compound is separated. The salt on reaction with the dilute HCl, acidification converts to acetic acid. Thus, it can be retrieved. Next case, seventh one, that is secondary amine followed by the primary alcohol. Secondary amines on reaction with HCl forms the corresponding ammonium halides. Salt formation takes place, enters into the aqueous layer, organic layer is separated. Whereas this aqueous layer on basification once again converted to amines and they can be retrieved. Yes, the secondary amine and the alcohol mixture on reaction with the HCl, secondary amine forms ammonium halides, that is salt formation takes place, converted as inorganic salt-like component and alcohol is present. To this mixture we will apply steam distillation to separate the alcohol. Whereas after applying steam distillation, the residue is the salt. Salt is allowed to react with the sodium hydroxide to form the amine. And now amine is associated with the water. To remove water, here distillation is applied. Due to its repeated distillation, water is removed. Thus, we will be getting the stable amine compounds. Yes, mixture of amines like primary, secondary, tertiary amines can be separated by a special reagent known as Hingsberg reagent, that is phenyl sulfonyl chloride. Primary amine, secondary amines combines with the phenyl sulfonyl chloride, whereas tertiary amine does not combines. Thus, tertiary amine which is not combining with the phenyl sulfonyl chloride can be separated easily. Yes, the mixture of amines are treated with the Hingsberg reagent, that is said to be phenyl sulfonyl chloride. As a result of reaction in presence of base, phenyl sulfonyl chloride combines with the primary amines as well as the secondary amines. Primary amines are converted as corresponding phenyl sulfonyl amines, and in the presence of base, this hydrogen is also replaced and it is converted as some sodium salt of phenyl sulfonyl amine formation takes place, and this is a regular compound and this doesn't react. Whereas these two organic compounds which are not present in the salt form enters into the ether layer and this one enters into the aqueous layer. Thus ether as well as the aqueous layers are separated. Thus here we are having secondary in the sulfonide form and tertiary in the regular form. These two mixtures which are present in the ether on doing fractional distillation are separated from one from other, and this is having higher molecular weight. So on fractional distillation, as a distillate, tertiary amines are obtained, whereas whatever the secondary amines are there, secondary amines on acidification, this amide bond is broken, sulfonamide bond is broken and it is converted to secondary amine present in the form of salt. And that salt on basification with sodium hydroxide, secondary amines are obtained. Thus, the separation of primary, secondary, tertiary amines is possible, which is known as Hingsberg test or the Hingsberg reagent based separation.